Hello, everybody, and welcome into a new edition of the Patriots Film Room. I am Evan Lazar for CLNS Media, breaking down Patriots rookie quarterback Mac Jones in this edition of the Film Room. As we do every week, we're going to take you through the rookie's reps against the Houston Texans in his first fourth quarter comeback and game-winning drive of his NFL career. And before we get into the tape, obviously, Mac Jones's performance against the Texans wasn't perfect. There were too many opportunities for Houston to intercept the football, too many balls into Houston defensive backs or linebackers' hands in this game, and Jones spoke about that after the game and on Monday during his hit on EEI that he felt like he took a step back due to the fact that the Texans had so many opportunities to pick him off in this game. So we're going to get to some of those negatives. But before we do, I always like to start with the positives. And looking at this game and looking at Mac's body of work, how far ahead he is of a lot of these other rookie quarterbacks, and the caveats that I hear to explain this development or the fact that he is way ahead of the curve seems to be discrediting the player on the field and what Mac Jones has been able to do. You hear, oh, well, he's got Bill Belichick and he's got a great system and he's got good enough supporting cast and he's got good coaching and all these types of things from the same people that like to say that Brady made Belichick and that the Patriots don't have enough weapons. Now, all of a sudden, Mac Jones' situation is fantastic because the kid is playing well. But at the end of the day, Mac has to go out there, make all the throws, make all the reads. He's doing it at an extremely high level, and he's throwing the ball accurately down the field to the first and the second level in particular. But most importantly, the reads are just very, very clean. Even when he does mess up or even when he does make a bad decision, it's not about the read. He's understanding the coverage. He's understanding the types of coverages that he's getting and where the openings are for the defense. And he's doing it at an extremely high level. And you see him starting on the first read correctly in his progression based off the pre-snap alignment of the defense more times than not. So let's get into the tape and explain what I mean by that last part in particular. But what I really want to point out is the clean process from start to finish, whether he's under center, running play action, shotgun spread, whatever the case may be, just a really professional workman's-like attitude to the quarterback position for a rookie in his fifth career start. And that's really rare to have a quarterback look this poised and this savvy this early on in his NFL career. So as we pull up the tape here, I want to take a look at this first third down. It's actually the second third down, but this third down play being the first play we're going to watch here. And as we look at this, based off of the alignment of the defense originally, you're going to get a zone sort of look, or excuse me, a man sort of look here from the defense. It's going to end up being zone. So you have man-to-man, this linebacker on the back, and this safety was coming down to take Kendrick Bourne. Now, Kendrick Bourne goes in motion, and the defense adjusts. So originally you get this too high safety look. Maybe it's some sort of two-man coverage Mac Jones might be thinking here. You got these two safeties here at the top of the screen and that two-man look, and you just have a man-to-man type of structure here from the defense. As Bourne motions, the defense is then going to adjust. That safety walks up to the line of scrimmage over here. The post safety goes into the middle of the field, and this defensive back is going to widen. The outside corner is going to take Kendrick Bourne. Still, though, a lot of man-to-man indicators or man-to-man feel that this is going to be some sort of man pressure here by the Texans. But as the play rolls and right before we get into the snap here, you're going to see these outside corners start to bail a little bit. And now they're trying to basically give Mac a zone read, right? Because you have this defensive back, his eyes are pointed in the backfield and he's opening up towards the quarterback. This defensive back here at the top of the screen is bailing at the line of scrimmage and he's starting to open up a little bit. So Mac is getting all of these zone indicators now and he's seeing it and he knows that he's going to have this little play action fake and potentially pressure here up the middle. And these linebackers that would probably be dropping out underneath this route are going to be held up just enough inside to be able to have Mac Jones hit this dig route or in cut to Nelson Agholor here at the top of the screen. So right now, everything that Mac is getting is that he's going to be able to this passing window here open, and he's going to have Nelson Aguilar out leveraging the outside corner on an in breaker because this cornerback is starting to take up outside leverage on the outside hip of Nelson Aguilar. You're also going to have a little whip route here by Jakobi Meyers that's going to take the slot defender away from the passing lane. And Jones just knows that this is just a leveraged throw. This is going to end up being an open window to Nelson Aguilar. He's going to have outside leverage, an outside leverage corner against an in-breaking route, and all he's got to do is make the throw. So as we roll the play, you see this little fake here to Brandon Bolden, holds those linebackers just enough, gets these guys out of the passing lane, and you see here's the passing lane to Jakobi Meyers, or excuse me, to Nelson Aguilar. You see the outside leverage corner with the inside shaded receiver running this in-breaking route, and Mac Jones just eyes in the right place, understands the pre-snap read, understands where his openings are going to be in this defense, and he just makes an accurate throw on third down and moves the chains. And you can also see with the ball placement on this throw, it's not the longest throw in the world. It's not the hardest throw in the world. But what he allows Nelson Aguilar to do is shield the catch point, right? The ball being right there, it's not ahead of him. It's not behind him. It's not in the way of the defender. There's no way the defender is going to be able to recover underneath this route and break up this pass. He allows him to shield it, and he's able to move the chains, and the Patriots would score a little bit later. So that's what you see from Mac, just knowing where he's supposed to go with the football, knowing where the openings are in the defense, getting there quickly, making leverage throws, and moving the chains. Those are the types of things the Patriots love in their quarterback play, and that's what Mac is giving them. So here, the Patriots are going to run under center play action. They're going to motion Hunter Henry into the formation, and he's going to run an over route coming across the field like that. And what the Patriots do in this scheme, it's called a Charles Barkley scheme, is what the Pats like to call it, is they're going to pull the guard here, and they're going to simulate a run play by pulling the guard. By a pulling guard, you think it's counter, you think it's power if you're the defense, and it's going to get these linebackers to step up into their gaps in their assignments against the run. And then that's going to allow Hunter Henry to just run right behind them on the crosser. And it's going to create an opening for Mac Jones to make this throw. But what I want to show you is two things about this fake. First of all, a good sell on the fake by Mac. Of course, they pulled the other guard. But you see this guard here? We're going to pull him this way. That's going to simulate the power scheme or a counter scheme, crossing, and you're going to have those linebackers step up. There's your scheme. And as he runs this play action, watch how quickly this ball is out. So as soon as he gets to the top of this drop, he's going to recognize specifically that this linebacker here is going to come up, and they're going to get him to cheat up a little bit exactly how they want with the play fake. He's going to get his eyes back down the field. He sees that linebacker creeping, and watch the ball placement on this throw. This throw takes a little bit of touch, but also a little bit of zip, right? You don't want to let it hang up a little enough for the defensive back peeling off here at the bottom of the screen to come and be a factor on this route, right? And be a factor on this play. So this DB on the bottom is playing this zone technique, and he's got his eyes on Hunter Henry coming towards the middle of the field. And if this ball hangs up, if there's not enough zip on it, then maybe he has a play on the football. But similarly, this linebacker dropping underneath it also could potentially have a play on the football if Mac Jones throws it on too much of a line and doesn't put enough air underneath the ball. So he's got to throw it with good touch, good accuracy, and good pace, and kind of find that middle ground. And you just see him be able to throw this ball perfectly in a great spot for Hunter Henry to go and turn up the field and gain 21 yards. I want to show you the play from the end zone angle so you can see it. This linebacker right here is going to step up just a little bit, but it's not a ton, and he actually tries to recover underneath it decently well. And if Mac hesitates even just at all, here comes the guard pull. Here comes the over route. Here comes the false step by the linebacker. Hunter Henry working behind it. If he hesitates too much here, then that linebacker is going to recover underneath the route. he is able to get it over the linebacker and put it in that spot. Look at this ball placement again. You see how it's right here for Hunter Henry because he knows that this DB is coming that way. And if he leads Hunter Henry, if he puts this ball out here, right, if this throw is like out here, then he's leading Hunter Henry into a huge hit. So instead, he puts the ball right on Hunter Henry's chest, and it allows Henry to then shield the catch point and make a little bit of a yards to gain there after the catch. But the main thing that this does is it allows him to protect the catch point and protect his receiver from the oncoming hit. And it gives Hunter Henry the time and the just awareness to be able to brace himself for that hit and turn upfield a little bit for some yards after the catch. So just great ball placement and great touch on that football by Mac Jones. Here comes the touchdown to Hunter Henry. As the defense kind of falls into this zone cover 2, cover 4, red zone coverage, the first read on this play is going to be Jakobi Meyers to the sticks on this little flat route, and then you're going to have the corner for Hunter Henry. And that's the first read on the play, and that's probably where the Patriots designed this thing to go, to just move the chains. But Mac is going to recognize that Hunter Henry is winning on his route, and Hunter Henry does a really nice job here of pushing this vertical stem. That's going to get this corner to give up some of his outside leverage, and that presents all this cushion here along the sideline for Hunter Henry to then break on this corner route. So a great route by Hunter Henry. And Mac Jones does a nice job here of coming off this first read that's covered in the flat and recognizing that Hunter Henry is going to break on this corner route and have a ton of space. And then look at the touch and the ability to just float that thing up there in the corner of the end zone. That's a dime. I know everyone's like talking about how this ball is a little bit underthrown. No, this is just an absolute dime in the bucket type of throw over the defender. Perfect amount of touch, gives Hunter Henry a chance to make this throw or this catch. But in reality, this is more of a clear out from Hunter Henry than it is a route that's meant to the play is not necessarily designed for the ball to go to Hunter Henry. We're kind of clearing this space out for Jakobi Meyers' route, especially with this linebacker on him in the flat and coverage. But the linebacker does a nice job of covering him, and Mac just sees right here that Hunter Henry has won this route and is going to win to the corner, and he just lost it up there for 6. And that's just a beauty of a ball right there from Mac Jones. That's a dime. That's a big time throw, whatever you want to call it. So now we get into more play action. This time the Patriots are going to run lead. So they're going to have Jakob Johnson lead through the hole like he would on a fullback lead type of play. And the offensive line is going to kick out, and they're going to open this B gap just like they would against a lead play. But instead, this is going to be play action, and Jakobi Meyers is going to run this backside dig, or actually it's a strong side dig this time. And he's going to run that dig route here, and we're going to see him get open. But again, I just want to watch how quickly Mac Jones gets rid of this ball at the top of his drop. Just instantaneously the ball comes out, and that's how you're going to have to operate from under center play action, because these linebackers, yeah, you might get them to bite initially, but these guys are going to recover eventually, right? They're going to get underneath these routes eventually, and if you have any sort of hesitation, then they're going to be able to take these passes away to the middle of the field. And the Texans linebackers were biting on it all day. There's no doubt about that. But as they bite on it, just right to the top of the drop, and the ball is out. Like this guy right here, I think this is Christian Kirksey. He's trying to robot, right? Robot technique would turn the back and then run back underneath that route. Here's Jakobi Meyers, and he's going to run this dig, get us in cut against this outside leverage corner. Again, another leverage type of throw. And look, it's just good football. It's just good fundamentals. It's good processing. It's a quick release. So as this linebacker tries to recover underneath this route, if Mac hesitates, if Mac just doesn't really get this ball out as quickly as he does and doesn't read this thing as quickly as he does, then that linebacker is going to have a chance to fall underneath that route and potentially make a play on the football. But instead, here's Mac in the pocket, and as this linebacker finally picks up on play action and starts to get depth again, Mac is already throwing. He's already throwing the football in the pocket to Jacoby Myers. And again, he hits Myers in stride, allows him to run after the catch with the football, and we gain 24 yards. Just good processing, quick release, accurate, good football. And here we go again from the end zone angle. It is Kirksey there, right there in the middle of the defense, number 58. As he comes up, he's going to see play action. He's going to try to recover, but the ball's already out. You see Mac's already throwing the football. He's already into his motion. As soon as we hit this top of the drop, he sees those linebackers bit, and he's getting the football out, and he hits Myers, and he's off to the races. And you just see this ball placement and the ability to get the football out quickly and to read the defense quickly. Look at that throw. That's right on the money. There's no fight for Myers. It's not low. It's not too high. It's not behind him. It's right in stride, and we're off. And that's how you create bigger plays through the air, even if you're not hitting 60-yard bombs. So Mac Jones's positive plays, I think the one thing that really stands out, and Bill Belichick talked about this last week, is the ball placement. The accuracy is just tremendous down the field when it needs to be. And he's just putting the football in such great places for these receivers to catch and run. You have Jacoby there. You have Hunter Henry on the play before that. You have Nelson Aguilar on the first play, just hitting the football right where it needs to go consistently, especially from clean pockets, is really impressive from the Patriots rookie quarterback. Now, here comes a bad play or a negative play by Mac Jones. And initially, I think, oh no, this is the third down. Okay, we got one more positive. Can't let him off the get into the negatives just yet. All right, so here's the in cut, right, from Hunter Henry here on this third down play. And the defense is going to rotate into this cover 2 structure. And Mac is going to know that he's got this Hunter Henry route if this linebacker moves out of the passing lane. But I think the other pre-draft narrative surrounding Mac Jones that wasn't accurate, as it turns out, was that Mac was a statue in the pocket, that Mac can't move. Is he Lamar Jackson? No. Is he Russell Wilson? Absolutely not. Is he even Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes? No, he's not those types of athletes, but he can move, and he's actually more athletic or more nimble in the pocket than what I was even expecting, and I didn't discredit his ability to move to the degree that a lot of other people did. So with this linebacker here underneath, Mac is just going to read that, and if this linebacker buzzes to the flat and tries to match this route out of the backfield, he knows that that's going to open up the passing lane for Hunter Henry on this in cut. This is third down again. The Patriots, one of the biggest third downs of the game, probably one of the biggest third downs of the season. And Mac's going to feel some pressure here when the left guard, James Ferentz, is going to get beat. And he's just going to find that soft spot in the pocket and be able to step up into the pocket and still make this throw. Once this linebacker moves out of the passing lane here and matches the running back, essentially Mac just knows that he's got to beat this deep safety to the point of attack. As long as he gets this ball to Hunter Henry before that deep safety comes crashing down, and the Patriots are going to have a first down. So as we roll the play, here comes the pressure right there. There's Ferentz beat. And when he gets beat to the outside, it's just going to open up this lane here for Mac Jones to step up. And he sees this linebacker widening. He sees that the linebacker is trying to go to the flat. He's got the outside leverage flat defender here on the cover 2 structure, the deep safety up here. And again, here comes Hunter Henry on this dig, and all he's got to do is beat the deep safety to the point of attack. He gets this pressure in the pocket. He steps up, eludes the rush, and then he makes this throw to Hunter Henry at the sticks, and the Patriots are moving the chains. Poise under pressure, reads again, accuracy again, timing, all these types of things are just, it's just good stuff. It's just good stuff. So there goes Kumagruger-Hill. He's going to move out of the passing lane. There goes James Ferentz getting beat on the left side there, the offensive line. And Mac just steps up calmly in the pocket, makes this throw on the move, and moves the chains. And the Patriots are ahead of the chains all game long because of plays like this from Mac Jones. And again, the accuracy, right? Right there. This is just a good throw. And he beats the deep safety there again. So all in all, just a very accurate thrower to all three levels, really. I mean, I understand that the downfield ball placement or velocity could be a little bit better, and we're going to get to that here in a second. But especially to the first and second level, a very accurate quarterback, reading the field very, very well, understanding coverages, understanding where his openings are, understanding how to get himself buy himself some time and just keep himself clean and being poised in this pocket and understanding that I can just climb the pocket and move off my spot a little bit and come up a little bit and make this throw. But there are some issues. And what I've seen from Mac in terms of the issues are mostly velocity driven when he's throwing off his back foot and understanding his limitations as a quarterback, because he doesn't have a cannon arm. He doesn't have a huge arm, and he doesn't necessarily need a huge arm to succeed in the league, but he's got to understand his physical limitations and where he's capped in terms of his ceiling with these types of throws. And most importantly, more so than maybe understanding limitations and any commentary on arm strength, is that Mac needs to be ahead of everything. He's got to have those lightning quick decisions. He can't be a beat late to anything over the middle of the field, because he's going to put himself in positions to get the ball intercepted. So what the Patriots have here is a seam splitter from Hunter Henry and a little under route by Jakobi Meyers. And the idea is to work this Mike linebacker, because they're going to expect cover 2 Tampa 2 potentially, this linebacker dropping into the deep hole. And if that linebacker drops in the deep hole, then Meyers is just going to sit right in that vacated area, and Mac's going to hit him in the pass. But what ends up happening is that this is just going to be standard spot drop cover 2. So Hunter Henry is going to split the safeties, and Meyers' under route is going to hold this linebacker underneath, and Henry is going to open up here at the intermediate level of the field, and Mac is going to get a little bit of pressure up the middle, and it's going to cause him to throw off his back foot, and there's just not going to be enough gas on the throw. But most importantly, the hesitation is there here on this play just a little bit, and that's what's going to cost him. So as we roll the play, you see here, this linebacker is going to cut off Jakobi Meyers' under route instead of going with the tight end up the seam, and Henry is open. I don't mind this read from Mac Jones. I think this is the right idea that he has here on this throw. But right now, the pocket is pretty clean, and Mac has the ability to step up and make this throw, but he's just a hair late to it. And then he throws off his back foot, and he doesn't really step into it because of the interior pressure. You can see him in the pocket kind of deliver this ball off the back foot, and you can see how he's a little bit late to it. And because of that, the ball hangs up and it's nearly intercepted. So if Mac is able to get this ball out sooner, and he's able to hit Hunter Henry as soon as he clears this linebacker level and release the football here, then I think that he's got a completion. I think this is a good read and a good throw, and nothing wrong with it. But because of that little hesitation that he does right there, and because of the fact that he's going to throw this off his back foot, he just doesn't have the velocity to make this throw. So if you're Mac Jones, the most important thing in my mind in terms of how to mitigate these velocity problems with the ball is you got to just be quicker, right? You just got to be quicker and more decisive with this read. As soon as that linebacker takes Jakobi Meyers, this ball needs to be out. As soon as that linebacker doesn't turn and run with the seam, he's got to throw this football immediately, because he just doesn't have the cannon to make up for any hesitation. And the second thing is we talk about arm strength and we talk about velocity on throws. And the great quarterbacks in terms of arm strength can throw from any platform, but they're throwing off their back foot, they're throwing on the move, they're throwing under pressure. None of it seems to greatly affect how much they can get the ball down the field and how quickly the ball is moving. With Mac, it's a little bit different. When he has to throw off his back foot and he can't step into it like this throw, he doesn't have that velocity. He does lose velocity. And that tells you that the arm is just okay, which is fine if he's making this read faster, right? If he's getting through this a lot quicker, and as soon as Hunter Henry is clearing this linebacker level and the linebacker is not carrying him up the seam and this ball is out already and there's no hesitation, then he's going to be just fine. But the hesitation, he can't afford that. Not at this level. He doesn't have that kind of arm, and it's going to get him in trouble as it did here. So these are all correctable issues because I don't see this as necessarily a issue of, okay, Mac Jones just has such a bad arm that he's not going to be able to make the throws at the NFL level. I don't think that that's what we're looking at. I think that we're looking at Mac Jones having to recognize his physical limitations and using his brain to speed things up to be able to make up for the fact that he doesn't have a Brett Favre arm cannon. And if we get there with Mac Jones, then his ceiling is going to be extremely high, because that's the question for everybody right now. We see the 5 positive plays and we say, okay, those 2 third downs, the play action plays, those are all really nice throws. Those are all accurate balls. He's going through the progression. He's going through the read properly. He's making the right decisions with the football. That's all stuff we can get behind. But what's his ceiling in the NFL? How good can he possibly be? Right now, he's good, but can he be elite? And I think a lot of people are pointing to the arm talent and saying that is not an elite level of arm talent, and it's going to be difficult for Mac to push that level. But what I look at it as is I say every player's got weaknesses. Some guys have great arms, but they don't have great downfield accuracy. Some guys are super athletic, but they don't read the field exceptionally well. Some guys have it all. Tom Brady has it all. Patrick Mahomes has it all. Aaron Rodgers has it all. But there are guys that are in that top tier of quarterbacks that don't have the total and complete package every single time out. And Mac Jones is going to be somebody that's going to be slightly limited, at least for now, by arm strength. But I think that there are ways mechanically that you can improve arm strength. Certainly stepping into every throw and making sure you get enough torque from the ground up will help Mac Jones a lot in certain situations. But when he is throwing off his back foot, he just has to understand his limitations and understand that he's not going to be able to fit that seam throw into an NFL type window due to the hesitation, due to the fact that he's throwing off his back foot. That's probably not a throw that he's going to be able to make in the league. But what he can do is he can lean on his strengths, which are his accuracy and his brain and his processing speed, and be able to just get that football out quicker in the future and throw a more accurate and more catchable ball for Hunter Henry. So knowing your physical limitations is not necessarily saying that his ceiling is capped by his physical limitations. Every quarterback needs to know their weaknesses and try to mask them. For Mac, it's that he doesn't have the biggest arm in the world, but he can mask those with processing fast, with getting the ball out quickly, with understanding how to manipulate defense and be able to just own the game from a mental standpoint. And as a rookie in his 5th career start, he's not going to be fully there in that capacity yet. He is miles ahead of where other rookie quarterbacks are in that department, but there are still going to be growing pains. I think Mac Jones is going to iron these things out, and I think he's going to get the ball out quicker and make those types of throws to Hunter Henry the next time. And the 5 positive plays, those are really good plays to hang your hat on. So I would look at all these things from Mac and say, we're still moving in the right direction. His development is still really, really solid, and the Patriots have him ahead of the curve and have him playing good football, and will eliminate some of the mistakes by understanding your limitations and hopefully improving timing to get the ball out a little bit quicker in some of those pressured situations. So that's your film review of Mac Jones in Week 5 against the Houston Texans. If you liked what you saw here, you want more of it, please subscribe to Patriots Press Pass. We have the Patriots Beat podcast with myself and Alex Barth, where we do more film review and more film breakdown, live post-game show after every single Patriots game. So please mash that subscribe button, and we will be back next week to break down Mac Jones against the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott in Week 6. I'm Evan Lazar for CLNS Media. Thanks for watching, everybody.